Hi, I'm Cyri, and that blob of a void is my cat Katie. I love Dishonored. It's my favorite game franchise of all time, and if you asked me to go through and explain every little detail of the game, I would roll my eyes and then link you this video, because it's a lot easier to just explain the Dishonored lore in one sitting than have to explain it over and over and over and over again. Yeah, I got that smudge out. Okay, back to what I was saying. Dishonored is one of those games that is near and dear to my heart. I will constantly love it. I'll play it forever. Probably for the rest of my life, I'll be playing it. I have 500 hours in it, and I plan to add more. But it does get exhausting having these people ask me, Sai, why don't you just make a video about Dishonored? And to that, okay, fine. You know, I'll uh, I'll do it. Okay, so where do we start? Where do we start? We're at the little story of Dishonored, and we should start at the rat plague, how the rats came to be. So there's this guy, okay? He's the high overseer. He's the Lord Regent. Okay. The Lord Regent slash Hiram Burrows, that's his name, by the way. He got a bunch of rats from this place called Pandyssia. It's an unknown land, it's completely uninhabited by human life. And he took those rats and threw them into Dunwall to get rid of the poor people. Because he figured that poor people are the problem for the economy. So if you get rid of all the poor people, you don't have any more problems. So he tried that, and the rats kind of got out of control, as all plagues do. And Empress Jessamy Caldwin needed to figure out how the rats came to be, and so she takes Corvo, her Lord Protector, for some reason. Like, why of all people would she take him? But she takes him and makes him go all across the world and figure out where these rats came from. And he comes back with nothing.
Nothing.
But he comes back 2 days early, full of surprises, as usual. And what's really fun about this whole entering the area to go see Empress Jessamine Caldwin and everything is that there's this water elevator. And this water elevator is super cool because water comes in from the top and goes down and fills up in this little cavity. And this cavity fills the water where your boat is. And you just slowly go up until you're eventually in the platform. Like, I'm showing a video of it right now. It's just one of the coolest things ever. And I know it's completely unnecessary to the plot, but you climb it up later. So I guess in a way it's relevant to the plot. And after Corvo goes up the waterlock way, he runs into this girl, and you don't know who this girl is just yet. But she says, Corvo, you're back, and kisses you on the cheek and everything. It turns out that's your daughter. Yeah, you've been screwing the Empress. Anyway, you play hide and seek with her and then go over to Empress Jessamine Caldwin to let her know what's going on. And she has this little monologue, this cute little thing, right before she gets murdered by Dowd. Now, Dowd abhors his actions that he did against Emily Caldwin and Jessamine Caldwin. And because he is so upset about killing her and kidnapping her, he has decided to listen to the outsider for once. And he has a dream of the outsider coming to him and going, hey, I know you just made big changes like I told you you would, but I need you to do something for me. There's this name, Delilah. Figure it out. Come back to me with that information. Thanks. And so Dowd does that. He actually time skips 6 months, looks for the name, and goes to a slaughterhouse because he found out that this dude has a boat named the Delilah. And he's like, okay, this is my hint. This is my option. This is all I can go for. And there he meets this girl named Abigail Ames. And Abigail Ames is an eco-terrorist. So Abigail Ames convinces Dowd to either blow up the entire slaughterhouse, which is what I prefer to do personally, or she convinces you to take Rothwild and send him off to a different country completely, and that way he'll never be a problem again. Um, and meanwhile, while that's happening, Corvo is escaping prison. During the prison segment, Corvo actually encounters a few people talking about him in the sewers, and they're like, oh no, Corvo Atano escaped prison. Do you think he got help? Yes, I think he got help. Me too, except that wouldn't make sense. Maybe the Bottle Street Gang helped him.
And the reason I bring this up is because it's a pivotal moment where we learn that the rats not only contract the plague, but they also eat humans alive.
So after escaping prison, we go back to Dowd, who is now speaking to an aristocrat's niece. And the reason he's doing this is because he found out that Rothweil actually bought the boat off of this aristocrat, and he named it Delilah after a painter that he was interested in. In fact, if you go into his house, you can find a statue of her, and she just rage baits Dowd really hard, just absolute rage baits her. Anyway, so Dowd decides to either eliminate the aristocrat by stab,
I'm getting murdered. Ouch. No, ouch.
or by an eviction notice. Like, he puts an eviction notice on them and then floods the house with the smell of death, and they leave, and that's how they get caught. And remember, while this is all happening, Corvo's doing something. He's actually looking for Overseer Martin and finding Emily's location so he can save Emily from being kidnapped. He also has the option to brand the High Overseer Campbell with the Heretics brand. And if you do that, he ends up in the flooded district with a note saying that he hates Corvo Asano for all that he's ever done. And it's a very interesting little Easter egg. I would really recommend checking it out by playing the game.
Okay, and then back to what Dowd is doing. Dowd's in the flooded district, and his crew's getting overtaken by overseers and witches, like Delilah's witches, which, by the way, Delilah is a witch, we discover. And it turns out your sidekick is actually on Delilah's side and has been working as a double agent. And so, depending on if you play on high chaos or low chaos, she will either attack you or she'll ask for you to spare her. Personally, I usually get the spare because I play on low chaos because I don't want to hurt the character's feelings. I'm completely lying. I don't care about the NPCs. You just deal with less rats in low chaos and less weepers. Ugh, I hate weepers. I haven't mentioned weepers. They're like zombies. They're people who've been infected with the plague and they're completely numbed in the mind and they just want to attack you and throw up on you. During this level, Corvo is actually at the Golden Cat, which is a
Silly.
house, and he's there rescuing Emily, who's hiding up in her room with a courtesan taking care of her. And there he actually meets the Bottle Street Gang, where he meets Slackjaw. In my notes, it actually says he meets Bottle Street Gang and Granny Rags, which is not true. You actually meet Granny Rags when she is being harassed by 3 members of the Bottle Street Gang, and she calls them her gentleman callers. She asks you to take care of them, and so you do. And they all die. And then she asks you to go and get some rat viscera and pour that into the healing elixir at Slackjaw's. So you do. And then they all have a happy life as weepers. So Dowd finds out where Delilah is. Yippee! And he finds out that he actually needs a boat to get there because it's on an island or something like that. I don't actually know where it is, but he needs a boat to get there. And the only boat he can think of is his friend Lily. Name pending. Might be different next time I speak about her. We'll find out. And so he's going to go and find her at Coldridge Prison, where Corvo was. Isn't that fun? So he rescues Lily, from Coldridge Prison, and she passes out. So he has to carry her out of Coldridge Prison instead of have her follow along, which is very convenient because Dowd can teleport and she can't. So the same day that we save Emily from the Golden Cat, we actually also go to Sokolov and kidnap him. And you're probably wondering who Sokolov is. He is the royal physician. He is a very good doctor. He's a scientist. He is also no good and just sleeps with a lot of people. So we kidnap him and we bring him home and interrogate him. And there he tells us, hey, there's a party happening tonight. If you just go to that, you can actually get rid of Lady Boyle that is causing problems. And so we do that and we go to a little party. At that party, there are 3 outfits that Lady Boyle is wearing, or there's 3 Lady Boyles. All sisters are wearing dresses and matching masks, and we have to figure out which one is Lady Boyle. It's randomized, so I don't know which one it is canonically, but I'm gonna go with Lydia. That's not the name of one of them. Esme. I'm going to go with Esme. But yeah, so you go there, you get a lot of gold if you know what you're doing, and you get to explore a cute little party. Isn't that nice? I mean, you do have to kidnap Esme and then like send her off to someone who's madly in love with her so they could be locked up together forever without her consent. But that's if you do the low chaos route, which personally I do the high chaos route and I just kill her because that feels more comfortable. But she actually turns out to do really, really well on the island, and she starts to rule the place herself, and she really likes it there. So girl boss? So Dowd discovers that there is this power cell that powers Lizzie's ship. By the way, her name's Lizzie. And she doesn't have it on her boat because she was in prison and it got stolen. And so Dowd has to go over to the Hatter's gang and ask for it back. And they say, no, you have to fix our power problem. Our water mills stopped turning. Go fix it. And then we'll give you your power cell back. And he can either say yes, or he can go and kill their boss and take the power cell. And the boss personally asks him and is just like, put me out of my misery. I'm suffering. I can't do this anymore. So Dowd does that, and then he gets the power cell, gives it to Lizzie, and goes on his merry little way to the Brigmore mansion. The next thing that happens in Dishonored is Corvo is actually told to go and take care of Hiram Burrows. And the way that he does this is either by doing a quick little stab or getting his diary and exposing it to the world. And my preferred way to do it is expose his diary, obviously. And he exposes that he is actually the sole person who caused the rat plague. That's right, he tried to kill all the poor people with rats, and in turn caused a plague. Corvo returns back to the Hound Pits, which is where he's been staying, and his friends and him all celebrate. They drink some alcohol, eat some food, have a good time, and then he goes to bed. But he doesn't feel very good when he goes to bed. And next thing he knows, he's on the ground. And Samuel's laying over him and says, hey man, I only gave you half the poison because I hoped it wouldn't kill you, but they were watching and I had to give you the poison anyway. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna drop you off at the flooded district. Please don't die. And so you go to the flooded district where you meet no other than Dowd. But where has Dowd been during this time? Flashback. Dowd is entering the Brigmore mansion. He is trying to find a way to get to Delilah, and he discovers that Delilah is in an alternate dimension. She's in the void. What is the void, you may be wondering? Well, there's been a deity this entire time. I should probably talk about that deity. So 4,000 years ago, this guy was kidnapped by a cult, and they took him into this mysterious location with creatures that raised up to like 15 feet high and sacrificed him. You know what? I think it might be better if I let him explain.
Look around you. A crumbling island at the very edges of the void. But this one is special. It's the place where my throat was cut 4,000 years ago. This is where my life ended, and where it began again. It's where they made me. Right up until the end, I thought I'd find a way to escape. I fought, but the ropes only cut my skin, so I went limp. And then the knife touched my throat, and I knew I'd waited too long. The blood ran out, and I became a god.
So now that we know the lore about the Outsider from Dishonored 2, we can now officially say that he's a pretty fun guy, and he gave Dowd, and he gave Corvo, and he gives Emily in the second game, but not relevant right now, the power to teleport and do other things. It's varied per person. Now that we know that, we now know where Delilah has been hiding. She's been hiding in the void. And Dowd has found a way to get into the void through the Brigmore mansion, because that's where she found her way into the void. So he goes in and he changes out the painting and makes her sucked into the void even further, like a deeper part of the void she can't get out of except through magic. And this in turn makes it so she can no longer possess Emily, which was her end goal all along. She wanted to rule all of Dunwall by possessing Emily's body. And the way that she was doing that was through a picture of Emily that she painted. But Dowd took that painting, replaced it with a picture of the void, and she got sucked deeper in. So going back to the present, Dowd and Corvo are meeting for the very first time officially, and Dowd apologizes and imprisons Corvo, knowing that he'll probably escape. Corvo does escape, and he meets up with Dowd, and they do a little duel. It's this really intense duel where Dowd is freezing time where only they can move. And Dowd then asks to be spared by Corvo. And he has this little speech, which, again, I'll let you hear.
One more surprise for you. I asked for my life. When I killed your Empress and took her daughter, something broke inside me. Now I see the design on the back of your hand. The mark of the outsider himself. And I remember all I've done. The years of waiting for the right moment to step forward from an alley and drive a knife between the ribs of some noble. All the money exchanging hands from one rich bastard or another. Killing for one of them 1 year, then being paid to kill him in return the next. I remember bending at the shrines, listening as the outsider whispered that I was going to change things, that I was somehow important. It felt good. It made me believe I was powerful. But what have I accomplished? More than you have, or much less. Now I want nothing but to leave this city and fade from the memory of those who reside here. I've had enough killing, so my life is in your hands. Make your choice.
Now, you don't have Dowd's side of the story like you do in this video. I am giving you the DLC way before it came out. So if you're playing this and you've chosen High Chaos throughout all of this, you're just going to kill him, because why wouldn't you? But if you're playing Low Chaos and you're all about forgiveness and everything, or maybe other ways to kill someone, you might be more inclined to choose to spare him. And that's personally what I do. I like to spare Dowd because I know what he's been through to try to atone for his sins against all of Dunwall. And canonically, he does get spared. So keep that in mind, I suppose. So that's the end of Dowd's story. Unfortunately, we don't get to learn more until Death of the Outsider, which is not this video. Dowd and Corvo split paths, and Corvo travels through the flooded district to get back to the Hound Pits pub. And he eventually does get there, and when he does, almost everyone's dead, and there's guards everywhere. Those who are alive, however, are hiding, and you can speak to them, you can meet them, and depending on who they are, you can even save them from the guards. And with an arc pylon that's more powerful than any other arc pylon ever created by Sokolov, Pierre and Sokolov create this thing, and you get to choose to either kill them all or put them all to sleep. I personally choose to put all the guards to sleep, but you could burn them all alive. And then you find out Samuel's still alive, and he takes you to Dunwall Tower, where you can finally save Emily once and for all. The High Chaos version and the Low Chaos version are both very different from each other and have the same outcome. Both end with Emily either dying or being saved. Turns out your friends, your friends, Admiral Havelock and Pendleton and Overseer Martin are all on their own side. They team up against each other, or they team up against you to kidnap Emily and poison you to make them look like they're the ones who are actually in charge. Afterwards, they turn on each other. In High Chaos, Pendleton and Admiral Havelock are in a fight against each other, and so is Overseer Martin. They're all shooting out with each other, trying to see who will survive last. Admiral Havelock then takes Emily and hangs her over a cliff. They're about to jump off together. In Low Chaos, Emily is locked up in a room and everyone is poisoned, all having shared one final drink together, similarly to what had happened to you. Corvo saves Emily, and Emily is finally safe, once and for all. Emily then takes her place on the throne, and Corvo helps her by being on her side. For the next 15 years, they are at peace. They are then building their kingdom up from when they once fell. The plague has been gone for years, and everything's fine again.
until one day, Delilah Copperspoon comes in and declares that she is the rightful heir to Dunwall. And you don't get to learn about that in this video, but if you want to learn about it from me, I would recommend subscribing, liking, like hitting the liking the button, hit the like button, and and maybe leave a comment expressing what you did and didn't like from this video. That's all. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Wow. That was a great video.
Will Cyrus and friends return soon?